we are bringing you 24/7 live coverage from the Gaza Strip, as close as we can get. My colleague Akshit Gupta is present over there. In fact, there is a ground report that he has filed from a city very close to Gaza Strip. This is Sadrod, and this is the day that he has spent in the town of Sadrod. And what he has reported is about the extent of devastation that the city has witnessed on Saturday after the Hamas terrorist attack. Take a look.
Well, we are very near to the Gaza border. Right behind me, you can actually see the tanks of the military, perhaps the artillery, heavy artillery. Because if we just try to zoom in also and show you, many hundreds of tanks are over there. And of course, a lot of helicopters are also passing by from here. And of course, these tanks are moving in and out. And of course, many tanks are also near the Gaza border because Israel has now geared up its stance and now they are being offensive, of course, because the visuals show us clearly, because we were also getting reports earlier that Israel might be preparing for the ground assault also on the Gaza border, which is also seen as very crucial as to when can it be done. So of course these heavy military activities over here near the Gaza border shows that of course Israel has been preparing. Of course, a lot of policemen are over here, a lot of officers, a lot of from IDF, Israeli Defense Forces are over here, of course, preparing, of course, gearing up for any kind of infiltration activity by the Hamas militants. And of course, if we just tell you, it is overlooking the main highway, and a lot of trucks are over here as we showed you, and there you can also see perhaps some military trucks also moving, military tanks also moving, and of course, so yes, they have been parked here so that a regular check, vigilance can be kept on any kind of activity which can actually harm the normal civilians. So of course, these tanks signal and this kind of heavy military activity, heavy artillery signals that of course Israel is preparing for something big, of course, because as we told you, we are getting reports also that a ground assault might be prepared for, and of course as we said, many nations have also been condemning the attack, as we have been reporting also continuously here on NewsX. So of course it remains to be seen as to how this actually pans out, because in all of this area, in all of this deserted area, because it's very close to Sidro also. And Sidro was also one of the places which was first attacked by the Hamas militants. Of course, a police station was also, captured, and many of the officers of the same police station were also held as captives. Of course, that was also something very disastrous, which the citizens of Sidro, witnessed, and of course, very horrifying also, harrowing footage also came out. And of course, the sense of fear has been prevailing in the whole Israel, of course, the whole country. So, of course, very near to Gaza border, Sidro, a very small city housing around 30,000 people. The IDF is all geared up, of course, all prepared for any kind of infiltration activity, and of course it remains to be seen as to how this actually pans out, because continuously you can see these live visuals only on NewsX as to how Israel is preparing, how Israel is actually gearing up for any kind of activity which can harm the people of Israel, and to prevent also any kind. Also, you can actually get a closure picture as to how this area looks, because this area is now fully controlled, is in full control, of course, as we show you the live visuals. Of course, as we are saying here, it remains to be seen as to how this whole if we just tell you, the whole activity actually pans out, because these tanks have already been started, and they are moving continuously to and fro the Gaza border. So of course you can actually see the soldiers coming out, of course, from the IDF. this actually shows the preparations of the Israeli Defense Forces. The soldiers coming in and out of the tanks. Of course, these live visuals you can watch how Israel has actually geared up, prepared for the situation. For the very hostile. The continuous airstrikes have also been carried out by the Israeli Defense Forces, of course. Because it can perhaps also spill into a multi-front war, because there is a possibility that Lebanon and Syria can also step up their attacks because Hezbollah is also entering. So of course these preparations, these IDF soldiers, their spirit unabated by any kind of attack. This actually signals how Israel is actually preparing for it. So of course we will continue to bring you all the live updates here on NewsX. Stay tuned on NewsX, and of course this shows how Israel is preparing, as we say it, as we say it again. And if we before finishing off, you can actually see more and more soldiers inside the tank. And of course, as we know, Israel having one of the best defense system, these tanks also very efficient when they go into the battle zone, when they go into the battlefield. So of course that's also very crucial, and a lot of tanks are being parked here. Of course they are continuously moving to and fro to near the Gaza border. So of course it remains to be seen as to how this actually pans out. So of course we will keep bringing you all the live updates only on NewsX. Keep watching it. In Israel with camera person Dinesh Thakur, Akshit Gupta for NewsX.
All right, now those military tankers which have the Israeli Defense Forces personnel ready at any point of time to head to the front along the Gaza Strip. There is current military deployment also in Sderot. And let's take a look at this ground report.
Well, we are very near to the Gaza border right now, and right behind me you can actually see the heavy army movement, the heavy defense forces movement, because this whole area has been cordoned off. And of course heavy military movement is also there. You can see the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, officials over there, commandos over there, and you can actually see this car also, perhaps very efficient car when it actually goes into the battle zone, battlefield. And of course IDF fully preparing for any kind of infiltration activity. Also you can see this whole convoy of IDF also being passed from here. Of course, so they are of course proceeding towards the Gaza Strip and of course preparing for any kind of infiltration activity, any kind of attack by the Hamas militants against Hamas militants, because this town is Sderot, of course, very close to the Gaza border, and it was also the very first one of the very first towns which was attacked by the Hamas militants, and of course a very small town, 30,000 people. But here you can see heavy military, heavy artillery movement, of course IDF. IDF commandos fully prepared, fully ready for any kind of activity. Tanks are going from here. They have all the equipments when it comes to guns, pistols, armor, of course ready with all the high-tech equipments also, and small trucks, big trucks, all kind of vehicles also which are very efficient in the battle zone are also here. And this whole area has perhaps been cordoned off by the IDF, and the police checkpoints are also there, because we will continue to show you the live visuals of the tanks which are being passed from here, because a lot of sand perhaps is also in the air, because these tanks are passing by, because these are very big tanks, and perhaps very built with the state of the art facility. And of course you can see the live visuals there of the IDF official standing on the tank. Of course they are moving tanks slow, one by one, near to the Gaza border, near to the Gaza Strip. And of course a lot of army tanks, army trucks also. If we just zoom into our camera, of course this area, when you look at it, because a lot of sand is also in the air, actually signifies as to what kind of preparation is the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces doing, and the Israel government doing, because their stance has now been offensive, and because Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also vowed to spat the Hamas militants out of the communities. Of course you can actually see the live visuals over here of the heavy military, heavy army movements. Of course, it remains to be seen as to how this actually pans out, because we will continue to show you every live visual, be it of Ashkelon, be it of Tel Aviv, be it of Sidro, or be it of the Gaza Strip, because the army is preparing for any kind of activity against the Hamas militants, because the airstrikes have also been continuing. For the whole night also, and now it's the 7th day of the war, and of course everyone has also condemned these attacks. Perhaps a lot of police movement is also there, a lot of IDF movement is also here. So of course it remains to be seen, because the larger question is, reports also suggest that is Israel preparing, are the IDF, is the IDF preparing for any kind of ground assault against the Hamas militants near the Gaza border or not? Because this is the larger question. And perhaps, when we talk to the IDF Lieutenant Colonel also, then there is a possibility also that can it also spill front because Lebanon and Syria are also stepping up their attacks with Hezbollah coming in. So of course you can see these live visuals from near the Gaza border, very near to the Gaza border, only just a kilometer or two away from the Gaza border. And of course the Sidro town, which was also attacked by the Hamas militants. Of course you can see the heavy military activity over here. And of course when we talk about Sidro also, a police station was also captured. Of course you can see the national flag of Israel also flying high over these tanks, of course signifying the prowess of IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, and of course their efficient and effective military tanks, army system, and everything you can actually see live only on NewsX. And of course if we move forward also, we will just try to show you more visuals and give you a more closer look as to how this actually looks. So of course if I can just call my camera person over here, so of course we will just go there to the road, because this area is perhaps restricted, and if we just show you there, you can have a closer look of the tanks. And of course so we are continuously showing you the live visuals, and of course stay tuned to NewsX for all the live updates when it comes to Israel and Hamas conflict. In Israel with camera person Dinesh Thakur, Akshit Gupta for NewsX.
All right, so there it is, another report that has been filed. In fact, while Akshit was filing this report, he witnessed a rocket hitting a civilian area in Sidot, and he ended up moving to a safer area, thankfully, during the rocket strike. Here's a report that he's filed.
आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर जो है रॉकेट आके गिरा था। आप देख सकते हैं इसी एरिया में जो है रॉकेट आके गिरा था, और अभी तक फॉर्चुनेटली जो है कोई कैजुअलिटी नहीं हुई है, पर जो है इसका इम्पैक्ट जो है काफ़ी बड़ा होता है। और इनका ये कहना है कि लगातार जो है कई सालों से जो है ये ऐसा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है चलता यहाँ पर आ रहा है, और जिस तरीके से हमें यहाँ पर जो है ऑफिसर ने बताया कि कोई कैजुअलिटी नहीं हुई है, वो एक अच्छी बात है। पर यहाँ पर जो लोग रहते हैं वो जो है खतरे से कम नहीं होता उनके लिए। और आप देख सकते हैं गाड़ी पे जो इम्पैक्ट है, किस तरीके से जो है टूट चुके हैं। तो बिल्कुल बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट होता है जब भी ये कोई एयर स्ट्राइक होती है, और जब भी ऐसी कोई स्ट्राइक होती है तो कहा यह जाता है कि आप किसी सेफ शेल्टर में चले जाएं, या फिर आप गाड़ी से जो है बाहर निकल के लेट जाएं। तो बिल्कुल आप देख सकते हैं किस तरह से इम्पैक्ट आया है। काफ़ी ज़्यादा यहाँ पर तमाम जो है IDF के सोल्जर्स हैं जो कि लगातार जो वॉच रख रहे हैं, और जो है पूरी जो है कंट्री को भी जो है गार्ड कर रहे हैं। आप देख सकते हैं किस तरह से गाड़ी में इम्पैक्ट आया, टायर जो है पंचर हो चुका है, और बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट आता है जब भी जो है रॉकेट जो है एक जगह पे गिरता है। तो बिल्कुल आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर, आप देखिए हम आपको लाइव विजुअल दिखा रहे हैं। काफ़ी बड़ा होता है एक इम्पैक्ट एक रॉकेट का, और लोगों में जो है खतरे का जो एक जो डर का माहौल जो है वो बन जाता है उसके बाद। तो आप देख सकते हैं गाड़ी पे इम्पैक्ट आया, दुकान पे इम्पैक्ट आया, और ये जो है आप देख सकते हैं ये रॉकेट का जो है शेल है। तो इस तरह की जो फायरिंग है यहाँ पर लगातार चलती रहती है, और यह आज की बात नहीं है, कई सालों से जो है ये फायरिंग जो है चल रही है। तो हम आपको लाइव विजुअल्स लगातार जो है इंडिया न्यूज़ पे दिखाते रहेंगे, आप बने रहे। इजराइल में कैमरा पर्सन दिनेश ठाकुर के साथ अक्षित गुप्ता, इंडिया न्यूज़। सर, इफ यू कैन जस्ट टेल अस व्हाट एग्जैक्टली हैपेंड राइट नाउ।
Okay, yeah. you can see that we are in the middle of a civilian area, and there is a rocket that hit here, and the fragments got to this vehicle. Fortunately, we don't have any casualties, so we evacuated. But this is the routine in this town. Not only today, 365 days a year, they are facing this reality. It's not only today. You just hear and you see it today. But these people, in the last 20 years that we were trying to achieve peace with Gaza after we went out from Gaza and we evacuated 8,000 people, they kept shooting on civilians. So this is what you see here. Okay?
Thanks a lot, sir, for speaking to us. Sir, if you can just speak.
The fragments.
Sir, if you can just tell us what exactly happened right now.
Okay. You can see that we are in the middle of a civilian area, and there is a rocket that hit here, and the fragments got to this vehicle. Fortunately, we don't have any casualties, so we evacuated. But this is the routine in this town. Not only today, 365 days a year, they are facing this reality. It's not only today. You just hear and you see it today. But these people, in the last 20 years that we were trying to achieve peace with Gaza, we went out from and we evacuated 8,000 people, they kept shooting at us on civilians. So this is what you see here.
All right, Akshat, my colleague who is in Israel right now, he moved deeper into the border area between Israel and Gaza. And we go through the police checkpost in Sderot and look at the preparation by the Israeli Defense Forces there.
We have passed the Sderot, and now we are very close to the Gaza border. You can actually see the live visuals of the tanks, of the military, of the IDF perhaps, the Israeli Defense Forces, of course. Just now we also captured the live rockets also on camera, and now you can also see the soldier, of course, waving to us. So of course you can see how the military is preparing for it, and of course there is a possibility also, because the reports also suggest that can there be any ground assault also by the IDF, by the Israeli Defense Forces. And now you can also look at the tanks also from a very closer look, how efficient and effective these tanks are, because very near to the Gaza border they are making their way to the Gaza Strip and of course to the Gaza border. And if I just walk towards also, of course there are a lot of tanks standing parked in one line, and of course already all geared up on board to proceed towards the Gaza Strip, because the stance has been quite offensive, and of course they are preparing for any kind of infiltration activity against the Hamas militants. And yes, you can actually see the live visuals here. And of course the IDF fully prepared, of course, in its stance. So yes, the soldiers are also prepared, and the airstrikes have also been continuously going on over the course of time. So of course you can see a lot of tanks over here with a lot of trucks also, military trucks, military jeeps also, and all the latest state-of-the-art equipment also. Now these tanks, will proceed to the towards the Gaza Strip, and of course, because there is a possibility also that this can be a multi-front war. So of course the IDF has been preparing for it in the every way possible, in the best way possible. So of course it remains to be seen as to how IDF actually prepares for it, because we are showing you the live preparations also. So of course it remains to be seen as to how this all pans out, because this kind of military movement has never been seen before, because unprecedented attacks were also launched by the Hamas.
Now, as my colleague moved through the missile-hit town of Sderot, we saw queues of military tanks and soldiers even as they continued to move through the border town. and their attempt to regain control on the Gaza Strip.
We are right now on our way to Sderot. Well, right behind me, you can actually see we are only 7 miles away from Sderot, and of course, when we talk about Sderot, well, it's a very crucial place because Hamas militants actually gunned down the civilians and took control of a police station in this small Israeli city when the attacks took place on the very first day. Well, very disastrous, of course. And if I just tell you, Sderot is a very small city, just home to around 30,000 people, and the militants came indiscriminately, gunned down the civilians over here. Of course, they also took many people captive, many officers captive in the police station also. And if you just see right there also, well, this whole area is also now empty. Because of course the sense of fear is growing in the area, and harrowing footage also of the assault was captured by the survivors, which has also emerged online. So of course that harrowing footage has of course shocked the people, has shaken the people, and how the people, the militants carrying gun down the soldiers. So of course, it's very near to Gaza border also, because it's just 7 to 8 kilometers from away from the Gaza border, where the airstrikes are actually taking place. So of course that also, and of course in retaliation, as we know, Israel has been continuously firing air missiles also, has carrying out airstrikes also, and if I just tell you, because if I have the data also in my hand, if I can just read it out for you, so it's also one of the several settlements, according to the report, which was attacked by Hamas militants when the attack was launched around 6:30 a.m. On October 7, well, around the Jewish holiday, of course, almost a week back, and of course the harrowing footage also came. Thousands of bullets were also fired. So of course we will be bringing you all the updates on NewsX. Stay tuned on NewsX, because we'll be also going near the Gaza border and bringing you all the latest updates when it comes to Israel and Hamas conflict. In Israel, with camera person Dinesh Thakur, Akshit Gupta for NewsX.
Now, here's also a report from a food shelter, a community center that has been created by the residents of Sderot. My colleague brought about this unmissable report that shows you how quickly the situation is changing in Israel as the war with Hamas continues.
We are here in Sderot. Well, a lot of airstrikes have been taking place over the course of time, and of course, a lot of devastation has been caused. But here you can actually see many people have been volunteering, as we showed you yesterday also, to actually provide food, because in a war-like situation, there is high possibility that there are food shortages. So of course, to meet that demand of food for soldiers, for the IDF people, and of course for the local civilians, many have been volunteering to provide essential items, of course the food and the water. And we also have one volunteer also with us who can tell us more about this place. So ma'am, thanks a lot for speaking to us. So when did you start this, and what can you also tell us about the attacks that took place in Sderot?
The attacks started to take place on Saturday, I think. It was the 7th of October. I'm living here. I'm still a civilian. We were just like locked down in the Mamad, the safe area, for 2-3 days. And then I saw that they need volunteers here in Sderot. So I came out. I came for 3 days ago. And since then, we're just taking calls from people who need food, who need medicine, who need help with evacuating from their homes. A lot of civilians got hit, their houses got hit, so they needed to just get off from here.
And if also you can show us around what all things you have kept here, we can just walk and you can show us around.
Yes, of course. We just keep getting things from all over the country, people who want to help us, people abroad who bring us food and essential things to be here.
So people also donate?
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of good people around here, and then we have here a lot of people who just like take place, and they're like cleaning here, making order, making those food
These are the boxes in which food is packed.
Yes, and now we're waiting for more food to come, hot food, so they can get it for Shabbat. Shabbat is starting today at night till tomorrow night, and people can. Okay, we have alarm.
Well, there you can actually see the alarm just rang, and of course it's very dangerous situation. Of course, you can actually see the alarm just rang, and of course it's very dangerous, and we had to run to the safe shelter over here. So of course you actually saw the panic that has been created. Of course, the airstrikes taking place continuously here in Sderot. So of course you can actually see the visuals of the people who have actually, a panic-like situation, a chaotic situation has been created due to the alarming. So this is the regular thing over here, and of course, alarms ring over here. So of course, now people had to run to this safe shelters. Of course, this has been going on for a very long time over here, and of course, we were showing you how the people are volunteering, distributing food for the soldiers, for the local civilians. Sir, if we can just talk to you.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So here in Sderot, are these alarms usual?
Usual. When in wartime, it's usual. Not every day, obviously.
And so, if you can just tell us about the attacks also which took place in Sderot.
There are many attacks, but it took Europe and the allies actually 5 years to demolish Nazi Germany. We will demolish Nazi Hamas in 1 month.
In 1 month, of course. So, of course, they're saying that they will demolish, Hamas in the 1 month. Now, we will just try to, go out and see what is the situation outside also. Because the alarm just quickly, the sirens were going off, the alarms were going off. And of course, the panic situation was created due to that because now you can actually see because rocket can fall anytime, anywhere. So of course, that is also a very alarming situation. Of course, we also talked to one of the commandos over here who is saying it's quite usual in the wartime. And of course, we will just try to talk to the volunteer again. So yes, you can actually see the food is being packed over here, and yes, of course they are volunteering because in the time of war, as we say, there is a probable possibility that there are food shortages also. So of course, to meet that demand for food, they are volunteering. Of course, there are packets of biscuits, breads, and of course a lot of food also, the hot food also. They are supplying everything, water also to the local civilians also, and of course to the soldiers also. And here you can see the whole stock of water bottle is over here. Over here also a lot of water bottles are over here because any kind of shortage can be met, and that's what is the priority of these volunteers over here. So of course it becomes very critical at this point during the war time that these things are met properly. So of course the food is being packed, and of course but we must tell you that when the alarm rang, a panic situation was created, and of course it's quite usual now in this situation of war, as the IDF official also talked and also told us. So now you can see how dedicatedly they are packing the food over here, and there also many biscuits have been kept. So of course they all are standing in solidarity, they all are standing in unity, because in a situation like war, it's unity which as they say also, it's unity which can defeat anything. And of course we also showed you yesterday how at different places the food is being distributed. Many people are volunteering to distribute food at different places. So of course that is also being done here in Sidrot, and we also showed you in Ashkelon. So of course in different parts of the country this is being done to actually showcase the unity, and of course to express solidarity with everyone, and of course to meet the food security also. In Sidrot in Israel, with camera person Dinesh Thakur, Akshit Gupta for NewsX.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.